Hello, hello, hello. Margaret Lloyd here with Eternal Shift to New Life. Friday, January the 10th. Wow. We're back into the double digit days. Wow, it's just hard to believe that it's already the 10th. Yep. Well, today we're going to talk about choosing joy, a life without psychological pain. So, okay, this was a podcast that I listened to this morning by Michael Singer podcast, and it really struck me as something that would be good for all of us to learn. So we're going to learn how to do this. What causes suffering? One type of suffering is very easy to explain. Physical suffering. Absolutely. That's always easy. You have a nervous system. It's sensitive to touch. It's sensitive to passing signals. And some of those signals are difficult. They're painful. They come back. And by the time they come back to you, they hurt. They're difficult. That's physical pain, physical suffering. What do you do about it? Whatever you can. You go to the doctors, you eat better, you do what you can to keep the body healthy, you do yoga, you exercise. I don't need to tell you what to do. We all know how to keep our bodies healthy. But we need to do it. We know how to do it. We just got to do it. There's so many things you can do. There are things that you can do that make it worse. There are things that you can do to make it better. People ask, what if you just have terrible chronic suffering? It's terrible. It's such compassion for people that are being forced to suffer. Maybe they have to take narcotics. Maybe they have to take things that make it bearable. Maybe they can try different techniques, holistic things, and so on. Don't judge people by their pain. Don't judge them. Different people have different tolerances to pain. Some can go through a tattoo and never feel a thing. Others, not so much. You feel every little prick. Just do the best that you can to keep the body healthy. Keep the nervous system healthy. And how you go about it is your business. It's just you need to take care of yourself. But that's not most of your pain. That's not most people's suffering. There's this inner suffering, psychological suffering, mental suffering, emotional suffering. You have complete control over that. It's at 100%. You are the cause of it. You are the solution to it. And they will not tell you that. No, nobody's going to tell you that you're the one that can heal your pain. People want you to deal with your pain in your own way. And the world will tell you, people will tell you, that the world is causing your mental and emotional suffering. Somebody else is causing your mental and emotional suffering. Things that happened to you 20 years ago are causing your mental, emotional suffering. Yes, obviously it's true, but it doesn't have to be true. It's the nice things about getting to talk to you. You do not have to suffer, period, ever. Not that type of suffering. Are you listening to me? You just have to understand, just like we understand what's going on with physical suffering, we have all kinds of things that can help with it. And we study it. We understand the nerves, the neurons, and the chemicals, and all the kinds of things, right? Well, inner suffering, those who have come to understand it, the Buddha taught it. Buddha is for snowball truth. Love, all love is suffering. Okay? Oh, all right. It's like it's been studied for a very long time by very, very great beings, and you can study it yourself. Why? Because you're you. You're in there. You live in there. Listen to me. You do not have to suffer. You do not have to suffer, all right? So what causes suffering? It takes modern times. Some of y'all were very happy with the election. Some of you were very unhappy with the election, the same election. I don't understand. Well, you walked into it with a set of preferences, expectations. The third Zen patriarch said the following: the great way is not difficult for those who have no preference. In other words, if you walked into it like a Martian, you didn't know what was going on, you just walked into this thing and this stuff's going on, you'd be fascinated. Oh, look, you're open. You have no preference. Now, don't close down. No, prefer I talk like this. No, don't close down until you hear everything, okay? You don't understand that if you do not have a preference, you would not suffer. You may have been disappointed. You know how you get disappointed by appointing something. Okay, you got disappointed. Appointing something and it didn't happen, so that's what's going on. So that's the bottom line. Again, I know you don't want to live like that now. You can't live like that. I don't understand. I just want you to logically to understand that if you do not have a preference, you would not suffer. So if you go to the polling booths without a preference of who you're voting for, then what are you worried about? Why are you suffering? I know you think you made up your preferences. That's not true. That is absolutely not the truth. You are programmed with your preferences exactly the same. I'm a computer guy. You know that exactly the same as you programmed computers, we put lines of code in and it behaves accordingly when it runs by the lines of code. Your mommy treated you a certain way. They took your blanket away too soon. Your first husband left you. Your child died. That's a terrible thought. Things happened to you. They programmed you. Psychology says man is a sum of learned experiences. That's not true. That's not who you are. That's what your psyche is. That's what your mind and emotions, your personal self, your ego, your hopes, your dreams, your preferences, your concepts, your views, your beliefs. There are things that were programmed in you, in your mind, emotions based on your past experience. If I take a computer, no matter how brilliant it is, it has no data. Guess what? It knows nothing. true. The only data you took in was what you took in. What you have inside of you is what you took in. Where'd you get it? From your past. If you read a book, you took it in. If you watched a movie, you took it in. You had an experience, you took it in. How much do you know about what you know? Nothing about. Funny as it sounds, you need to listen. You've had experiences. How often do you have an experience? Every moment of your life, you had an experience. Did anyone else have the same experience? No, not necessarily. They may have had something close to, but exact same as you had during the same sequence of your life? No one did that. That was all on you. No one, only you. Not only did no one ever has, and no one ever will have the same experiences as you. So don't let them think that they have. Moments don't repeat themselves. It's just coming and going. It keeps changing. And it just keeps changing. And you see the moments that you see. You experience the moments you experience. I know if you... I'm asking you a question. I know if you get it because it blows your mind. You've experienced a certain number of things. Absolutely. How many of you missed how many things you've not experienced that actually took place? Oh, I'm sure there's lots. Billions, zillions, quillion, and you are only programmed with the one line of code of experience that you had. Then you had another, then another, and another, and so on. Now you understand where your preferences come from. They're not holy, they're not evil, they're not sacred. They're the sum of your learned experiences. We're moving into a world now where we have AI, which is pretty amazing what you can do with it. If I took, and I won't do it, I promise, but they will believe me. If we took every experience you ever had and you fed it into that AI, it would act like you. Okay. If I changed one experience that I put into it, it will behave somewhat differently. If I change one experience that you had, you've had a different one, or you didn't have that one, it could be different. I try to show you how tenacious this is because you believe that you think is what you think is truth. Oh, it's true to you because those experiences you had take the most amazing computer ever built, brilliant, and put in one set of data and keep asking the questions. You will get the same answer. That's the only data it has. And that's the only data you have. I'm talking about you. Yeah, I told you it's not true that you are the semi-learned experience. Your mind, your emotions, your psyche are the sum of your learned experience. They were programmed. Who knows? This psychology knows. Freud figured it out. That's what got put in there. That's when what's going to come out, but that's not who you are. Why? Because you know you're the sum of your learning experiences. You can watch your mind tell you stuff. You know where it came from. You are the consciousness. That's who you are. You're watching your mind and your emotions be the sum of your learned experiences. And out of that, you've developed a mindset, a mental set. these experiences don't necessarily mesh together properly, right? Let me fix this. Maybe that'll make it better. Yeah, there we go. So, you met someone in high school. Let's say his name is Ben. You really got along, then you got married to Ben. And you didn't work out so good. So if you're kind of let's see, I cannot pronounce BIFUR, bifurcated, whatever. Let's see what that's all about. Bifurcated, divided into two branches or parts. Okay, about Ben. And so you're sitting in there programmed and you got to live in there. The self-consciousness has to live in there. But it's very Trier. Biquartated, all right. It's all over the place. It's hard to live. So you make up a set of those learned experiences. You say, that's me. This is what I believe, until I met somebody that believes something else. And I really love him. So I changed my beliefs. Yes or no? We all did. We all did. Have you ever changed your mind? Have you ever changed your mind? Yes. That's how tenacious the stupid thing is. You took pieces of stuff, we'll talk about it more a little later. Just took pieces of stuff of your experience, you put them together, and you created an ego. You created a voice inside your head that's telling you what you believe and what you don't, and what you like and what you don't, what shouldn't happen, what should happen. It's constantly talking. That's all it does. That's where it comes from. That's where it is. So it's been programmed into that. So it's not true that you are the sum learned experiences. But it is true that your psyche that you live with every moment is the sum of learning experiences, and your preferences you end up with preferences. Why do you like this? He likes that and you don't like that. Why? And by the way, you're married. You better laugh, okay? Why? Because some things that come in from the outside world, it comes in. Your experience comes in when they come in. They feel good, don't they? Sometimes, yes. Some things, when they come in, they feel bad. We can get into that a little later. I get into this very deeply in the new book, Living in Tethered. When they get in, when we can get into that a little later, very down to detail. All right, why does this happen? So when they come in, they feel good. I'm going to make a prediction because I'm a psychic. I'll bet you prefer that. The ones feel good happened again. I'll bet you prefer the ones that feel bad don't happen again. Did I get it? It's just so logical. It's so ridiculous. You're being programmed by what's coming in, and problem is that you don't like something. Please listen to this. Things are going on all over the place. Things are going on in front of you. There's people here. There's clouds. There's weather. There's everything going on. Some of it just comes right in and goes through what part? Haven't figured it out? Well, I know it's at least 95%, maybe 99%. Every single thing that ever came through your senses passed right through the white lines on the road. The cars on the road that you never owned one. You don't know anything about it. The trees, the weather, the clouds. Look how much just came in. Some of it, the car, the snow outside. The car that looks like your girlfriend's car, and there's somebody snuggling in there. At least it looks like that. They were just bending over to pick up a Kleenex, right? But that's what you saw, all right? Somehow that car stays in there somehow. All the other cars drove by. All the other people drove by. But the next time you see your boyfriend or girlfriend, something to be talked about, and it wasn't all the other cars, and it wasn't the white lines, and it wasn't the clouds. It's what were you doing in the car with somebody else? So you have to learn to not jump to conclusions. It doesn't feel good when it comes in and you're separated by it. By the way, that car, same end of the car to everybody else. It comes in. If it doesn't feel good, you don't want to feel it. I have to qualify, but explain to you. There are times you really do want to feel something, like you turn the corner and the sunset is so gorgeous you just melt. It blows your mind. Using words like this, it touched me to the core of my being. I felt like I was in the presence of God. A hug can do that. A kiss can do that. Nature can do that. Absolutely. Music can do it. It can just take you away. Melt you completely. It's beautiful. That is because you let it come in. You let it come in, and that's nature. Nature comes through your senses, passes through your psyche, doesn't get blocked, it doesn't hit anything in your psyche from before you're open. That's what the words mean. You're open, you're clear, you're receptive. You let in those 60s words. It comes in, it touches you. It literally touches you in there, your soul, your consciousness. The essence of your being. And it pours into there, and it's most beautiful experience you ever had. There's no experience more beautiful than being touched to the depth of your being, is there? You know how many times you've been touched to the depth of your meaning. I can count on my hands. It's always there. What is your consciousness? It's always there. Why doesn't everything touch the depth of your being? Because you don't let it. There's no way. If it starts coming in and it doesn't feel good, you're always pushing it away. So don't do that. You have hands in there, don't you? Have you ever pushed away a feeling or a thought because you didn't want to have it? No. That's going back to the depth of your being. It isn't. Don't let that all the way in. No way. I can't stop it from happening, but I don't have to let it in all the way. You're in there doing this, are you not? How often, every moment of your life, it doesn't feel good, then I don't want to feel it, so I'll push it away. I call it resistance. I do. Do you resist things in there sometimes? I do. I think we all do. Well, let me clue you in. If you resist the name coming all the way back, that's the purpose of resistance, isn't it? I don't want it coming all the way in. I don't want it. My favorite sentence is this. I don't want that to have happened. What does that mean? I don't want to have that happen. It happened. If it didn't happen, you wouldn't want it to have happened. It did happen. But you can't accept it. You can't allow it to come in and pass through. So you resist. You push it away. You do it every moment about all kinds of things, don't you? Doesn't take much for you to push it away. It's raining. I don't want it to be raining. You push it away. It's cold outside. I don't want it to be cold outside. You push it away. So we'll talk some more about this tomorrow. I'm going to highlight where we're going to start. Let's see, I will. There we go. So we'll talk some more about this tomorrow, okay? So peace and love. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I love you all. Take care.